Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, millions are on alert as Hurricane Matthew continues to threaten the U.S. coast. Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina bracing for the Category 3 storm after it tore through the Caribbean, with many residents now preparing to evacuate. ABC's Angelica Spanos has the latest.
Catastrophic damage in Haiti. Hurricane Matthew's 145-mile-per-hour winds ripping through towns, flash flooding, washing out roads. The damage in the impoverished country is hard to measure, as many ignored orders to evacuate and communications are non-existent in many areas.
Everything in my house is wet. I've lost everything. The water took it. I won't have a chance to get it back.
The concern now shifts to the Bahamas, where Matthew is expecting to batter the islands before turning its focus to the U.S. States of emergencies declared in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Store shelves are bare, bottled water is dwindling, and residents are stocking up on propane and plywood, even waiting in long lines for gas.
Drove to like 4 different stations trying to get gas and no gas.
Florida Governor Rick Scott is urging people to get out before it's too late.
Our number one priority is protecting life. The storm has already killed multiple people, and we should expect the same impact in Florida if people do not take this seriously.
With millions of people expected to evacuate from Florida to South and North Carolina, traffic jams are expected, and forecasts show Matthew nearing Florida Friday morning, then heading north along the coast Saturday and Sunday. And as of now, through the Caribbean, at least 11 deaths have been blamed on Hurricane Matthew. Angelica Spanos, ABC News, New York.
Also, some airlines are allowing passengers to change travel plans without penalty if their trip might be impacted by the hurricane. American Airlines is waiving change fees for trips scheduled for Thursday and Friday to and from 8 Florida cities, as well as trips through Thursday in several Caribbean nations. Delta Airlines also waiving change fees through Thursday, and United waiving fees for travelers flying today through Friday to and from 5 Florida airports. At the moment, there are no flight delays or changes at the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport. All right, let's get the latest now on the storm. Meteorologist John Scalzi looking at that. The latest track came out about an hour ago, right?
Right. It shifted a little bit. It brought it a little closer to Central Florida coastline, but that's the best track. I mean, basically it remains unchanged. The east coast of Florida is just going to get hammered by this really large storm. I mean, we got a big Category 4 here as well with Charlie, but it was a compact, small little storm. This one's radius of influence is large, and you know, you're talking about maybe a 5-foot storm surge. On top of that, a 2-foot tide plus wave action. It could be 10-foot waves crashing above sea level, above ground level over there. And I'm just worried that people are going to get stuck on the roadways as they try to get out of Dodge. A lot of them coming over here, I would imagine. Taking a look at the infrared and the colorized satellite version of this storm, you can really see that after it crossed Cuba, it kind of lost a little bit of its character, a little bit of its inner eye wall, but that's reforming. And our Hurricane Hunter aircraft and Air Force recon units have been out there investigating the eye of that storm, and they are saying it has reformed. They have upped the strength of the storm since this morning, and it continues on a slow northward track that'll take that thing right up the East Coast, maybe even onshore of the East Coast for a time. Probably around here we'll start to see in South Florida the winds begin to pick up tomorrow afternoon and then increase maybe to hurricane force strength as it gets closer to the shoreline. We might see the onset of a little bit of tropical storm force winds in Hardy and DeSoto tomorrow night through Friday morning maybe, and then the storm system moves on. As far as the model tracks go, this thing is confounding. It's been confounding since it began. Model tracks now carry it out, most of them out into the Atlantic, away from the northeast coastline, where it had been a dangerous possibility there. But some computer models actually still continue to loop it back around toward the southern tip of the state of Florida next week. So it's just, again, another indication that, you know, you follow this thing really day by day. We'll continue to watch it. Some of the rain bands pretty heavy now, moving through the Bahama Island chain, gradually drifting closer to us. I think we'll probably see some pretty good shower activity across the eastern seaboard of Florida over the next couple of days, and we may get some here too. We'll talk about the forecast for us coming up in just a few. Scott?
John, thank you so much. And of course, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com, at any time to get the latest updates on Hurricane Matthew. In other news, if Florida voters approve medical marijuana next month, the city of Sarasota is already making moves to temporarily delay it. A moratorium has been passed to block dispensaries in the city for at least 9 months. City leaders want to have zoning and building regulations in place before any applicants get approval. While some question the commission's motives, the mayor says he is personally in favor of medical marijuana dispensaries.
In the proper places, I'm very much under the idea of compassion for those who are so deemed necessary to have an alternative to different medications.
Although voters turned down the plan 2 years ago, a recent poll by the Florida Chamber of Commerce found 70% of prospective voters plan to vote for medical marijuana this time. It would require 60% approval in order to amend the state constitution. Venice residents who want to know more about city candidates before voting will have a chance to hear them in a forum tonight. That forum is free and open to the public and begins at 6 o'clock tonight at the Venice City Hall. It's being hosted by the Venice Gondolier's son, Mayor John Hollick. Council members Jeanette Gates and Bob Daniels are expected to take part. Allegiant Airlines adding a new flight to Punta Gorda Airport. The airline launching a nonstop service from Concord, North Carolina to Charlotte County. It'll operate 3 times a week. The new addition will bring 30 Allegiant routes overall to Southwest Florida and bring more than 26,000 additional visitors to the Suncoast. Today is National Walk to School Day, and one Bradenton Elementary School is taking the opportunity to raise awareness. Faculty and parents from Daughtry Elementary School joining Manatee Fire and Rescue this morning for a walk, bike, and roll event. It's organized by All Children's Hospital's Safe Routes to School, which is a federal program designed to make it easy for kids to walk and bike to school safely. Parents are assigned a group of kids, and together they take a route to school and are shown protective methods against traffic and other hazards they could face along the way. Some kids also acted as safety patrols, and we spoke to one little patrol who says she actually prefers walking to school instead of riding the bus.
I think walking to school is better than getting a ride to school. It's better because we can exercise and we could actually just that.
Breakfast was provided afterwards for both kids and their parents. Hundreds of schools across the country are taking part in this event today. Safe Routes to School also supports National Bike Day, which will be held the first Wednesday of May. Time to get over to the kitchen now, where our guest chef, Nils Tarantic, is from Duval's Fresh Local Seafood Restaurant in downtown Sarasota. Nils, great to have you in the kitchen today. What's on your menu for today?
Thank you for having me. Today we're going to do a wonderful trick of the eye and the taste buds. We're going to have a potato masquerading as a scallop, and I call it scallop potatoes.
All right, Chef, thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today for deals worth celebrating during the Jeep Celebration event. Come shop the area's largest selection of Jeep Wranglers or check out a new Jeep Cherokee priced as low as $19,999. Stop by to see the stylish new Jeep Renegade starting at just $17,699. Or drive away in a new Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
An important message for Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you receiving all the benefits available to you? Do you know there is money available to lower your Medicare prescription costs? Now's the time to find the coverage that's right for you at the right price. The way to do that is to explore your options. You can spend hours doing that yourself, or you can call Health Markets and let us do the legwork for you with no cost or obligation. We'll search a variety of plans from nationally recognized companies to find the coverage that's the best fit for you at a price that fits your budget, and we'll do it at no charge to you.
Plus, you may be able to save money on prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify.
Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs.
Put our free service to work for you at no charge.
Call the number on the screen now to make sure you're getting all the benefits you deserve. Don't wait. Call now.
Christmas Tradition by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Download ABC7's free all-new news app at your app store today. Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So based on current model trends, aircraft reconnaissance, and the time constraints, the hurricane warning for the east coast of the state of Florida has been extended upward toward the Volusia County line. But above that, it's a watch, a hurricane watch. Now, locally, we've had some changes, almost locally. In Polk and in Highlands County, we have had a hurricane watch change to a hurricane warning that extends all the way down toward the southern tip of the state. Now, they are forecasting for that area sustained winds below tropical storm force, but gusts as high as tropical storm force. So that's the reason for that. It is still of note that for our area, we have no watches or warnings related to the hurricane yet. We could see, I think, some inland wind warnings tomorrow, or maybe probably tomorrow, and we certainly will see, I think, some small craft advisories issued for our area waters, maybe even gale warnings. We'll see how that goes. Currently, we have an air temperature of 83 degrees and a dew point of 73. The temperature's kind of held down a little bit by these pesky and persistent clouds that we have. There are some showers over on the other coast, obviously, and that easterly wind flow is driving some of those showers closer to us. The trough that is steering Matthew is outlined by that stream of clouds that has been persistent for days. And there are showers now moving through Highlands County, getting a little bit closer to Wauchula and Arcadia. And I think those showers will continue drifting toward the coastline through the day and into the afternoon. High pressure remains a dominant figure in the forecast for this storm, carrying Matthew northward as it gains intensity. We also have Nicole out here that continues to influence the stream of air coming into Matthew by around that area of high pressure, and a trough of low pressure that is forecast to lift out with time and cause our hurricane, which may get very close to the eastern seaboard, to go back out into the Atlantic most likely. It is forecast to gain intensity as it moves over the extremely warm waters of the Bahamas, and it could certainly make landfall over on the other coast. The idea of it crossing the peninsula and coming into our area intact as a major hurricane is pretty remote, so I'm not so worried about that. We are looking at calm conditions basically for today and tomorrow, though it's a little breezy out there. We could get some storms move through. It will become much more breezy tomorrow night as the storm gets closer. Nicole, by the way, going nowhere and of no concern really to the United States except in its influence with Matthew. Matthew continues to strengthen, its eye wall better formed. Wind speeds now up to 120 and the movement to the northwest at about 12, taking it very close tomorrow to Nassau, and then up towards probably near Kennedy Space Center as perhaps a Category 4 storm with sustained winds of 130 miles an hour, bringing really bad surge to that area and, of course, wind damage. The closer it gets to the coast, of course, the more likely you are to experience wind damage with this storm. For us, we are not in the cone, but the further west that track takes, of course, the stronger our winds will be and the more likely we are to have some stronger storms slung back in our direction, stronger thunderstorms. We're watching the tail end of this forecast becoming more and more confounding. Yesterday, a big loop-de-loop predicted by some models. Of course, the Hurricane Center doesn't take things out quite that far because so much can change. There's a sheared environment up here that may help to weaken the storm significantly, may even degrade it completely. But those sheer model forecasts are not that accurate this far out. So a lot can happen. High pressure can build back in. Certainly we could get that system to make a loop-de-loop. The thing is that out here in the Bahamas, the water temperatures are so warm and the wind conditions so perfect that it's unlikely the system will lose much strength. In fact, it is very likely it will increase in intensity. By the way, our wind forecasts here, the percentage chance of getting tropical storm force winds has increased in Hardee and DeSoto County. So based on that, here's what I think that we might get. Certainly some rough sea action, 6 to 8 foot seas, maybe even higher than that. Probably a sustained wind of 15 to 25 Thursday night into Friday day. The higher the wind speeds, the further inland you'll have to go. Maybe some tropical storm force gusts in inland areas, and certainly some rain bands could be strong as the storms move through. Don't think tornadoes are a big problem, but we'll certainly be on guard for that. Northeast wind at about 10 to 15 today, becoming 2 to 3 foot seas into moderate chop. Good day to make sure your boat is properly tendered. That's probably going to see some wind speeds picking up here. We'll see the wind speeds picking up here Thursday into Friday. And as it pulls further away from Florida, we may get our first little taste of fall over the weekend, which will be nice after all of this action. Scott?
Definitely. John, thank you. In health news today, Johnson & Johnson is sending out warnings on certain insulin pumps being targeted by hackers. The company says its one-touch ping insulin pump has a bug causing a potential cybersecurity risk. Hackers could hijack the device and force it to deliver unauthorized, possibly lethal insulin doses. But the company says the probability of that happening is extremely low. There have not been any reports of actual attempts to hack the device yet. The USDA issues an updated warning regarding the use of skin products that contain mercury. The sale of such products is already illegal in the United States. According to the FDA, many illegal items are marketed as anti-aging or skin lightening products that remove age spots, freckles, blemishes, and wrinkles. But because of the internet, it's possible for people to buy a product without knowing it contains mercury. Mercury, of course, is a toxin. It can cause symptoms such as depression, memory loss, irritability, and a tingling sensation in your hands, feet, or mouth. Doctors say any product that contain the words mercurous chloride, mercurio, or mercury should be avoided.
Every product that's legally marketed in the United States is required to have an ingredient list that's written in English. So if you get a product that doesn't have an ingredient list or it's not written in English, those are clues that you should be very, very cautious with that product.
Also, doctors recommend you be mindful of the products you purchase abroad, since those products are not subject to the same health standards as U.S. products. Here at home, a nonprofit is working to put an end to human trafficking. The nonprofit Selah Freedom, hosting an evening of celebration. That event raises awareness for sex trafficking and how to free its victims. There will be gourmet food, live music, and dancing. Survivors will also share their stories with guests. It happens Tuesday, October 25th at the Gold Coast Eagle in Lakewood Ranch. Tickets are $50. All proceeds benefit Selah Freedom's mission to end sex trafficking. Still to come in your Suncoast News, Hurricane Matthew leaving flash floods and hundreds of homeless in the Caribbean. We'll have a look at the damage, what we've seen so far. And after an illness kept him away for 2 years, one local high school student is finally returning to the sport he really loves. We'll meet him next as our Athlete of the Week.
My dad is my hero, and I wanted to give him a chance to live life and be happy. Granny Nannies has been a huge help. It has contributed to the health and happiness of my dad, for sure.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community with a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC7 News at 7 weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View. We have a behind-the-scenes look at all the news that's fit to print. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we talk to a former senior writer of the New York Times about the legacy of that famous paper. A local artist takes a look back at old Florida, and it'll bring back some memories. Plus, Suncoast for sale with nothing but dream homes. And Apollonia Grill joins us in the kitchen.
today at 4 on Suncoast View.
On air, online, and on your mobile device, this hurricane season turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Complimentary maintenance included. At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Granny Nannies. We've been making house calls for over 25 years. When you need home health care services, there really is no place like home.
Grandma! A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Our ABC7 Athlete of the Week has an amazing story. One thing he loved most, football, was taken away from him 2 years ago. Miraculously, as Don Brennan shows us today, 2 weeks ago, it was given back to him. Don?
Scott, Michael Birch never thought he'd be able to play football again, but Friday night he'll take the field in an emotional return. Michael Birch is a linebacker and a running back for the St. Stephen's football team. When he's on the field, he's said to play with a lot of heart. The irony is that it's his heart that has kept him off the field.
I honestly felt perfectly fine like when I went in. I've always had a heart murmur, and every 2 years I'd go in to the cardiologist and just have him check on it and make sure it was normal. That's when he found out about the condition.
That condition is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the same condition that led to the death of Hank Gathers during an NCAA basketball game.
I was devastated. I mean, you know, sitting in that room with the doctor and both my parents, you know, just looking at their faces, I mean, that's what really hurt me.
That was 2 years ago, and Birch had not played since. Then, as if his prayers were answered, he was cleared to play recently.
I'm so excited. It feels great. I mean, never thought I'd see the day where I'd actually be able to play another down. I mean, it's crazy.
We did not expect him to come back with a normal MRI. We did not expect him to be in a situation where there were no changes over the last 2 years, and in fact that he looks healthier now than he did then in the eyes of the doctors.
Birch has been practicing, and he'll make a very triumphant return to the game action Friday night against Out of Door Academy.
I don't think we can overstate, right, this emotional rush that's going to be there for our kids. Our kids are thrilled about having Mike back. Obviously, he helps us as a team, but to see a young guy who did all the right things for 2 years get an opportunity to sort of finish his career on his own terms, you can't state how big that is.
Every snap going forward is a blessing, you know. I mean, never gonna, you know, go half speed again. You know, got a new love for the game.
His parents and everyone else at the school await the big night that they thought they'd probably never see again.
His dad absolutely extremely emotional, you know, and he feels like he too, I will tell you, Michael's done all the right things. You know, he stayed the course in the classroom, he stayed the course, and from an integrity standpoint, he's always been a great kid. And to get his career back as a player, you know, there are no words for that.
Congratulations to Michael Birch of St. Stephen's Episcopal School. He is our ABC7 Athlete of the Week. Yeah, Scott, and not only has he been out for 2 years, but during that time he came to practice every day, wow. And he also helped coach the younger team. So his love would not go away, and he didn't want to be far from it, and just kept on being near the team. And that's why they're also so happy to have him back, because he's been around, now he can play with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a night that's going to be for him and the team.
Yeah, ABC7 will be there. Hopefully we'll get video of the emotional run onto the field.
Yeah. All right, Donnie, great story. Thank you. Let's get back to the kitchen now. John is there with our guest chef today, Nils Tarantic from Duval's Fresh Local Seafood Restaurant in downtown Sarasota. Hey, guys.
One of our favorite restaurants. And we were just talking, I think your first appearance on this show is about seven years ago. Yeah,
Amazing.
So a long time. And Duval's one of our favorite restaurants, I know.
Well, we appreciate that.
Well, it's my pleasure. Keep cooking like you're cooking.
Well,
you know?
we're trying to trick our senses into thinking we're going to do something different today.
And that's what this year's all about.
Exactly. It's the theme, the art of food. It's the masquerade theme this year. So we're going to do a trick. We're going to masquerade a potato.
Say this again now. The art of food.
The art of food.
What is the art of food?
Brought on by the Junior League of Sarasota, along with the All Faiths Food Club, Food Bank, teaming up together, feeding the Sarasota families, doing a slow cooking method, and a wonderful program teaming up, and all the proceeds go to that. So
great. And this is one of the dishes.
One of the dishes that we're doing. So I'm going to trick your mind, and your
Okay.
senses, into thinking this is going to be a wonderful sea scallop.
Probably
today.
won't be hard to do.
Exactly. So we got our sauce started here already. We have onions, garlic, butter, and some of our scraps of scallops. Please don't use our U10 scallops from our restaurant or anything from there. Don't waste that kind of money on it. Get some bay scallops if you have to, some scraps and stuff like that. Get that going. Perfectly
So you're making
fine.
kind of a broth here.
We're making our base for our sauce, yep. And we're going to do a little salt, pepper, and sugar in here.
Okay.
The longer you can simmer this, the better, because you're going to extract all that flavor out of there.
Okay. So if you go an hour,
if you go an hour, if you forget about it on the stove on low heat for 3-4 hours at a time, even better. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to cut our potato into about 3/4 inch discs right here, and then we're going to get that out of the way. We're going to take our cookie cutter, about a 1.5 to 2 inch diameter one. Cut our center right out of there. You can use all these scraps for potato soup or mashed potatoes if you want to do that.
Sure, why not?
In the restaurant, we waste nothing, as they say.
And then you end up with a bunch of them like this,
Yep.
right?
And then those are going to be our scallops. Then you're going to sear our scallops off.
Neat. What a cool idea.
Right here.
Yeah.
Get that going right in there. Take a couple more of those and get those going.
Okay, right into the hot oil, right?
Right into the hot oil.
Okay, you want to use a really hot pan for this, I'm assuming?
It's going to be medium-high heat, so you get that nice little sear on there.
Okay, no butter or anything like that, just using strictly oil?
Just a little oil.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to cook them for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side, just like you would a scallop. Cooking it medium rare if you want to cook them medium rare or medium, however you want to trick your mind into thinking you're going to have a scallop. And then what we're going to do...
So do you do this the same way as a scallop? Do you wait till they're opaque?
Yeah, kind of thing. I mean, you don't even have to cook them all the way
with a
through.
fork,
You're
is
gonna
that what it is?
yeah, you're going to warm them all the way through. What we actually did beforehand, we blanched them for about 45 minutes.
okay.
Sorry, I left that part out. We blanched that ahead of time, so we cook them all the way through. So you're really just searing the outside and warming them through.
And what's going on here?
This right here is our finished product that we had here.
Oh, okay, so this gets, how did it get the brown color there?
We actually cooked it for a little bit longer. It's going to get a little more color. We're going to add a little bit of sherry into there.
Ooh, nice.
A little sweetness, a little bit of alcohol. Can't
Okay.
go wrong with a little alcohol, you know?
Touch brings out the flavors.
Exactly. A little bit of cream, little cream.
A little more.
We're going to reduce that down. We're going to take that down to about 60-70%. It's going to concentrate all the flavors. We're going to puree that, pass that through a strainer.
Okay.
And then we're going to...
and that's what you get.
That's what we have here.
Oh, that's got to taste
You
fantastic.
got to smell that.
Oh,
Smells
that's
like
good
essence
stuff.
of scallops right there.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to go right in the center of our plate.
And is this on a menu that features various items, or is this just a special
This
dish
is
that you
just
got
a
going?
special dish that I just came up with for our wonderful event. Like I said, we're at the library this year, and it's on October 22nd.
Okay.
Going to feature, I want to say there's at least 20 other restaurants featuring with us there.
And I want to I want to show the final
our final
product
plate,
over there after you get them all toasty nice and put on the plate. It looks
And you're going to think you're having a
gorgeous.
pan-seared scallop right
That
there.
sounds fantastic. Now, I have read that to properly saute, you should not frequently turn, just once. So how long before you would turn those?
Maybe 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Maybe
and
2
then
minutes.
flip them
And
over.
on a higher heat, obviously I didn't prepare well with this electric one, but normally it's a little bit higher heat and you get that nice little sear, just like a scallop at your house.
Awesome. That looks delightful. The recipe's on our website, mysuncoast.com. Chef, thanks so very
Appreciate
much.
it. Thanks
Duval's
so much.
Restaurant on Main Street. If you haven't been, you must. You're going to be busy there over the next couple nights.
We
All
hope
those
so.
East Coasters come to this coast.
Thank you, Hurricane Matthew.
It's going to be busy. All right, we'll be right back.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here, because
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Since 1928, Kerastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Kerastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. We're starting to see images from Haiti after Hurricane Matthew swept through that country. The storm brought torrential rainfall, winds up to 145 miles an hour, and today officials are assessing the damage left behind. It's proving to be difficult since most of the island's communications are cut off after bridges gave way and roads became undrivable. Streets are littered with debris, others is covered in water. Some Haitians who live in Southwest Florida have family members on the island and are worried about their safety.
My little village where we're from is pretty much wiped out.
Now I try to call, no answer. No fun working now.
At least 11 deaths have been attributed to the hurricane so far, 5 of them in Haiti. The country is still struggling to recover from a devastating earthquake that struck 6 years ago. Nonprofits such as Hope for Haiti in Naples and Sarasota or Venice's Agape flights are planning to send resources to the island. Matthew also went through the island of Cuba, destroying dozens of homes there. Most of the damage was close to the water's edge. Larger buildings remained standing despite flooding and roof damage. Before the storm, Cuban authorities moved people along the coast further inland to higher ground and into state-run shelters. Others stayed with relatives. Back in the States, evacuations are underway in South Carolina and will begin later today along Florida's east coast. A price gouging law is currently in effect in South Carolina and here in Florida as thousands gas up to leave coastal areas. The law went into effect when the governor of South Carolina issued a state of emergency. Price gouging is considered a misdemeanor in South Carolina. It's punishable by a $1,000 fine and 30 days in jail. Schools are also closed, as some of them will be turned into shelters. In South Florida, several store shelves are already empty as residents prepare for the storm there. Some drivers waited over an hour to get gas. Other stations ran out. Most of the school districts along the Atlantic coastline have canceled classes today. Colleges and universities in the warning areas will also cancel classes starting tonight. Mandatory evacuations will begin later this afternoon for those living in Brevard County, on Atlantic Barrier Islands, and in flood-prone areas. Governor Scott spoke this morning in Tallahassee and offered tips on how evacuees should prepare.
Each individual, 3 days of water, 3 days of food, medication, battery-powered radio, battery backups, fully charged cell phones. Once you lose power, you will not be able to recharge your cell phone.
Meantime, several cruise ships are being rerouted from their regularly scheduled Caribbean and Bahamas ports to Key West. As for the theme parks, Walt Disney World says all of its theme parks and resorts will be operating normally. SeaWorld is anticipating some potential changes in operating hours, and Universal Orlando is still monitoring the storm and its potential impacts there in Orlando. John Scalzi's back with us now with the latest on this hurricane, which I thought it was interesting earlier. You were comparing it to Charlie, which was so compact. This is a much larger wind field that this storm.
Sphere of influence is much larger, 100 miles or more for tropical storm force winds. And the thing is, I think it's been a long time. And I think a lot of people on the other coast are going to be complacent and maybe leave a little bit later than they should and maybe try to leave at the last minute. And you know, that could be a bad thing. I think for us, if the forecast works out as we have it right now, it looks like at least through the weekend and hopefully even beyond that, we'll be able to look back and say, you know, we dodged a bullet on this one compared to what they're going to experience on the East Coast. That said, and I always say this, do not turn your back on this storm until it's north of North Carolina, because if it changes, if it comes a little bit more to the west, our forecast will change dramatically. Small shift in track for this storm means a big change in our weather. So you got to keep updated with every consecutive forecast issued by the Hurricane Center. And of course with Bob at 5. The hurricane warning for the east coast of Florida has been extended northward to just south of Jacksonville, and then to the north of Jacksonville from Volusia County line, actually up through Jacksonville, and north of that, it is a hurricane watch. Locally in our area, we don't have any watches or warnings, but Polk County and down through Glades County, Polk and Highlands and Glades, all seeing a tropical storm warning now as the likelihood of tropical storm force winds increases there, at least tropical storm force gusts. Hardy and DeSoto still don't have anything like that, but it's certainly possible you can see some stronger wind gusts from anywhere from really Thursday night into Friday day. The eye of the storm is much better defined than it was when it came off the island of Cuba, and in fact has increased in intensity. For us today, expect to see some scattered showers and a decent chance of afternoon storms. As far as the onset of what we might experience from this system, we'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes, Scott.
Okay, John, thank you. In the race for the White House, both campaigns are declaring victory after last night's first and only debate for the vice presidential candidates. Mike Pence and Tim Kaine clashed repeatedly on the debate stage, taking on not only the issues, but also targeting their running mates. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the highlights.
The vice presidential face-off was filled with insults and interruptions.
You are Donald Trump's apprentice. Let me talk about this
Senator,
issue
I think I'm still on my time.
Well, isn't this a discussion?
With neither Senator Tim Kaine nor Governor Mike Pence holding back.
Donald Trump during his campaign has called Mexicans rapists and criminals.
You whipped out that Mexican thing again. Look.
Sparring over immigration, taxes.
He went through a very difficult time, but he used the tax code just the way it's supposed to be used, and he did it brilliantly.
How do you know that? You haven't seen his tax
runway.
And Russia, with Kaine repeatedly on the attack.
Governor Pence said, inarguably, Vladimir Putin is a better leader than President Biden.
That is absolutely inaccurate.
And interrupting Pence almost twice as often. Pence at times was less than factual, though always keeping his cool.
6 times tonight, I have said to Governor Pence, I can't imagine how you can defend your running mate's position on one issue after the next. And in all 6 cases, he's refused to defend his running mate's.
No, don't put words in my mouth.
In the end, political experts say Pence won on style and Kaine on substance, but neither came out a clear victor.
I think Mike Pence came out ahead, but he didn't help the ticket. He didn't help Donald Trump. I think Tim Kaine didn't help himself, but he helped Hillary Clinton.
Well, turns out altogether, Pence and Kaine interrupted each other more than 100 times in just 90 minutes, but both campaigns happy with what they saw, with Clinton calling the night a win for Kaine and Trump tweeting, "We should all be proud of Mike." Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
In consumer news, the federal government is announcing new rules for prepaid debit card users to increase protection starting in October of next year. Those prepaid debit cards will come with disclosures of the card's monthly fees. They'll also have to detail extra charges related to cash withdrawals, reloading the card, and other items. Protections for lost or stolen cards will also be expanded. These cards are very popular for those with an income lower than $25,000 a year, mostly to function as gift cards. More passes are being distributed for the Smithsonian's new National Museum of African American History and Culture, which just opened. The Smithsonian had planned to begin distributing passes for the first 3 months of 2017, but people who tried to get them faced long waits and error messages that caused a glitch. This morning, the museum attempted to re-release those passes for January, February, and March on its online reservation system. Same-day free passes are also available on a first-come, first-served basis at the popular museum. Google introducing a line of smartphones and other gadgets. The Pixel is the first Google phone to carry exclusively Google branding. It comes in 2 sizes and offers 4K video, free unlimited storage of video and pictures. Prices range between $650 and $750. It's now available for pre-sale orders. Pixel is considered an aggressive challenger to Samsung and Apple's iPhone. When we come back, John will have another look at our forecast, continue the track of Hurricane Matthew. And from Brazil to Bradenton, we'll meet an amazing Suncoast woman who has seen it all. That's next.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
So there's still some uncertainty in the future track of Matthew, but I think by tomorrow we're going to start seeing it become a much higher confidence level in the forecast track, at least up the Florida coastline and in the weather that would affect us over the next 48 hours or so. 83 degrees the air temperature, a little bit of cloud cover out there right now, 73 degrees the dew point. You know, I forecasted temperature in the low 90s. I'm not sure we're going to get there unless we get a little bit more sunshine. We're at 83 right now. We'll see if maybe we get some breaks in the clouds during the afternoon. We have a trough low pressure that still exists in northern Florida. We have an easterly wind flow that's sustained across the peninsula, certainly the northern part of the peninsula down through the south, and a few scattered showers moving onshore are working their way closer to us. I think our rain chances this afternoon are pretty good. And in fact, over the next several days, I think we'll see more of these showers slung across the coastline. They have a chance of seeing some tornadoes with some of these storms as hurricanes that are close to shore often have tornadic activity in them because as the storm cells race onshore, the ground slows the bottom of the storm motion, whereas the winds aloft are still pretty strong. So you get kind of a pinwheel spin up in some of the downdrafts and some of the updrafts, and that creates the potential for tornadoes. But after these storms cross all the way across the state, I think that risk will be a lot less for us locally. We got a few showers in progress in Hardee and DeSoto County, but the light stuff right now, I think we have a better chance of thunderstorms later in the day. Trough of low pressure, we have Nicole out here. Not going to worry about that too terribly much. It's not going to bother us. Stays a tropical storm, maybe eventually washes out. It's really Matthew that all the concern lies with. And as it gets closer and closer to the coastline by tomorrow afternoon, the east coast of Florida, I should say, we'll start to see the wave action there really increase. The threat for some wind damage all along the coastline up through Georgia and into South Carolina most likely. We'll have for us today fairly calm, tranquil conditions today and probably tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's weather probably will be very similar to today's weather, though the winds will be increasing just a little bit. And we'll watch it become breezy tomorrow night, I think, through Friday day. And then we'll watch very carefully tomorrow to make sure that there are no sudden shifts in the track of the storm, unexpected shifts. Category 3 storm right now, it has regained some strength with a possible 120-mile-an-hour wind increasing to 130 as a Category 4 storm as it gets close to the east coast of Florida. I think probably by Friday morning, we'll see the strongest winds around here. And around here, they'll probably be sustained, I would think, at about 15 to 25 along the coastline, maybe 25 to 30 in inland areas. Could get some gusts as high as tropical storm force in inland areas. Of course, any shift to the west of this forecast track impacts our forecast directly. And even minor shifts could have major influences, as well as the intensity of the storm. So it's going to be kind of a day-to-day thing. And I encourage you to tune in at 5 tonight to hear Bob's updated forecast with the new track that's issued at 5 o'clock. Then, after Saturday, it moves out into Atlantic waters, and hopefully it meets its fate there and is sheared apart in its demise. But some of the computer models suggest it may do a little loop-de-loop and return toward Florida. So again, even through the weekend, even though the weather's going to turn nice, I think, over the weekend, don't turn your back on this storm till it's far out at sea, until it's dissipated, really. This storm has been a very surprising storm. Our chances for tropical storm force winds are increasing in inland areas, Hardee and DeSoto, and certainly possible that we get some tropical storm force gusts there. I don't think they'll do any serious damage to buildings, but they could create some power outages, especially in Wauchula, Arona, or Arcadia over the course of Friday into Saturday morning. So we'll watch for that. Possible rain bands producing some fairly heavy rain at times. Tropical storm force winds possible mostly in inland areas. And we'll watch the seas get really rough out there. So if you haven't moored your boat, tinned it up pretty nicely, I would recommend doing that. 6 to 8 foot seas possible in offshore waters. You certainly don't want to be out there in that. Rainfall accumulations through Friday will probably certainly be greatest over on the other coast. That's good news. We already have some rivers that are at bank full, so we don't need any more rainfall. But we could pick up certainly 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches of rain over a couple-day period. Northeast wind coming in at 10 to 15 knots, increasing to a moderate chop. And the forecast calls for a 50% chance of showers Thursday and Friday. Then over the weekend, I think we dry out, and some drier air is forced back in this direction. Some cooler air, too. It could be the first taste of fall. But, of course, we'll be very carefully monitoring Thursday and Friday what the forecast is. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. A Suncoast woman has witnessed a lot of change over her 99 years. ABC 7's Linda Carson introduces this week's amazing Suncoast woman.
Faith's mother died when she was 8. Growing up, she had one ambition.
I wanted to marry a minister. Well, I went to Boston University and studied in the School of Religious and Social Work and got my degree. Didn't meet any ministers that I wanted to fall in love with.
She was teaching religion in Covington, Kentucky, when a young minister heading to Brazil as a missionary preached at her church.
Well, the Sunday we used to preach, I was all excited, going to meet this nice young minister. So we went to church, I sang in the choir, and as I sat there and listening to his sermon, a voice came to me saying, "This is the man you're going to marry."
After church, he asked her to lunch.
He said, "Would you marry me?" On the first date. I said, "Well, I'll have to think about it and have to pray about it."
She really liked him.
Ellis was a handsome man. He was president of his debate club and could convince anybody of anything. So the next day when we met, I told him yes.
She and Ellis left for Brazil.
Arrived in Brazil. 2 days later, Pearl Harbor. So where there's no communication between families anymore, no letters, no way of getting through.
They spent 20 years in Brazil. Their 3 children were born there, and they returned to the States when Faith got breast cancer. Ellis preached at a Florida church.
They asked him to come back and be the pastor of Trinity Presbyterian Church in Clearwater. We were there for 14 years.
Then a terrible shock.
Then he had word from the doctor that he had a year to live.
Ellis resigned from his church and retired.
But the doctor made a mistake. He lived 20 years beyond that, fortunately.
They enjoyed retirement, but shortly after they moved to Westminster in Bradenton, Ellis died. But Faith is still involved in many activities and knits every day to help others.
And I usually make 3 or 4 sweaters a month, and they go to the migrants.
And her life lesson?
Remember all the good times. Forget the bad times.
Being Faith. One of Faith Graves' daughter has written this book about her mom, and in November, Faith will celebrate 100 years of being Faith. And from everything she tells us, every step of the way has been guided by her faith. Faith Graves, you're an amazing woman. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
She sure is. Thank you so much, Linda. Coming up, a Stephen King classic is returning to theaters just in time for Halloween. We'll have details of that and more coming up next in Entertainment News.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC 7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC 7, your Suncoast News on the go. The Venice Area Chamber of Commerce Consumer Expo is coming to the Venice Community Center October 7th and 8th from 9 to 3. There'll be free health screenings, door prizes, and products and services from 90 area businesses. You can also enter to win $100 in 5 drawings each day. Enjoy great food from area restaurants and see new boats and cars in the outdoor display. Parking and admission are free. The Venice Area Chamber Consumer Expo, sponsored in part by ABC 7.
Hello, I'm Whitney Stewart, the current National Boys and Girls Club's Youth of the Year.
And I'm Haley Wilkes, news anchor for ABC 7. Please join us for the Women in a Changing World panel discussion. You will hear from a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, senior vice presidents from Disney and Tupperware, a New York Times senior writer, and an Alaskan Native poet.
For more information, please visit womeninachangingworld.com.
The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And andservices.com. andservices.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
The classic horror flick The Shining is returning to theaters. Based on the Stephen King novel, it tells the story of a writer who goes insane while living in a haunted hotel with his family. Over the winter months, The Shining will be in select theaters October 23rd and 26th. Red Rum.
Red Rum.
Red Rum. There's an opportunity for you to have Marty McFly sneakers in your closet. Nike is raffling off 89 pairs of its Back to the Future sneakers in an online lottery. Tickets are $10 and can only be purchased by U.S. and Canadian customers. All of the proceeds will be donated to the Michael J. Fox Foundation, which is a nonprofit working to find a cure for Parkinson's disease. Fox, of course, played McFly, suffers from Parkinson's. Those are the shoes we've been waiting for since that movie. They just lace up by themselves.
Wouldn't you love to have a pair of those, huh?
Yeah.
Next track of Matthew comes out at 5 o'clock. Bob will present that for you at that time and give you his thoughts on it. Be sure and watch it.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, John. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful afternoon. Remember, you can get the latest on the storm anytime at our website, mysuncoast.com. Hope to see you at 5 o'clock.
If you want 24/7 access to ABC7's breaking news stories, weather forecasts, traffic alerts, health reports, dining segments, local events, Suncoast View, and more ABC7 specialty programming, now there's good news. Introducing the free ABC7 channel on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Your 24/7 access to ABC7. Just search ABC7 on your streaming device and download your free ABC7 app now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.